Hey folks, Jason from Jason Dixon Photography here. Today, more and more meetings are being held from home by Zoom and other web conferencing platforms. And just because you don't have a professional camera setup doesn't mean that you can't look professional. Here are 5 quick tips to how to look your best on camera from home. Tip number 1 is lighting. The very first thing you want to consider when setting up your Zoom environment is making sure that you have an adequate light source that's falling on you, making sure that you're the best lit subject in the entire room, at least that your camera is seeing. If the light behind you is too strong, you're going to end up looking like a silhouette or a shadow, which we see a lot today in Zoom calls. My biggest recommendation is to use natural light. If you can find a window that you sit by, that's always going to be generally the best light source that your laptop camera is able to handle. In fact, in filming this right now, I'm using a big window to light this. That's my key light. That's what's actually giving me this nice even lighting source that you see right here. However, if you can't find natural light, you don't have a window that you can sit by with your computer, what you should always do is at the very least make sure that whatever your light source is, whether it be a lamp or overhead lights that are built into your apartment, that you make sure that you have nice even light falling on you. Tip number 2, background. When choosing a background, you want to choose a background that's not too distracting, but at the same time something that shows a little bit about yourself. I've seen a lot of people just have a blank wall behind them when they do their Zoom calls, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, this is an opportunity to show something that is a little bit about yourself. Over here on this side I have books that I enjoy reading. And over here on this side I have some flowers because I like having flowers around the house. You know, it can be whatever you want. People put, their tennis rackets or their bicycles, off in the background somewhere. That's a conversation starter. It allows you to connect with the people that you're talking with. If you're living with other people, if there's a bit of chaos at home, people moving around in the background, it's great to, choose an angle that's gonna have not very much cross traffic and allow people to focus more on you. Also, don't feel that just because your desk is in a certain place, the place opposite of your desk has to be the background for your Zoom calls. There's nothing wrong with you picking up your laptop and moving to a different part of the house or the apartment that works better for you. Ultimately, you want to choose a background that isn't very distracting, has minimal cross traffic, and still shows a little bit about yourself, and also works with your lighting environment. So pick up your laptop and pick a place that works for you. The third tip that I have for you is about angle. You want to set your camera at eye level so that the angle is straight at you rather than below you. When you set your laptop or your phone on a table, it generally has an upwards angle, which tends to be a little bit less flattering. So putting your camera and your laptop more at eye level definitely tends to have a better perspective for the viewer and puts you in a more flattering light. The other thing I want to mention about where to position your camera is you want it generally about 2 feet away from you. This allows people to see a little bit more of you, generally from the shoulders up, and tends to be a little bit more at a comfortable distance. If you're too close to the camera, it oftentimes is just a little too much in people's faces, and having a little bit more of you from the shoulders up, just like a headshot. This is what I always tell people. We want the headshot to be from about here up. It tends to be more flattering and give people a better sense of you. One more thing that I'll mention about Zoom is that it has a touch-up appearance setting. If you go under video, the video button, you click the arrow next to the video and you go into settings, it allows you to touch up appearance. So it basically just removes some of the blemishes and contrast and just makes the video feed that comes through your camera a little bit more flattering. It's kind of like an instant Photoshop retouch, especially if the lighting is really harsh. You have a really high resolution camera and you just want to it's like the old Hollywood trick where they put Vaseline on the lens just to take away some of the detail. The fourth tip that I have for you is eye contact. The best way to make eye contact when doing a video conference is to look directly into the camera lens rather than at the screen. I know it's difficult not to look at the screen. We all have that habit. You want to see how people are reacting to you. However, if you're looking to connect with them, looking right into the camera lens will give them the feeling that you're looking right into their eye as if you're there in person. So do something like take a piece of paper, cover your screen, and this will help you to break the habit of watching people's faces looking down rather than looking straight into the lens. My fifth and final tip for you today is about sound quality. Have you ever wondered how you sound when you're on a Zoom call? Have you wondered if people can hear you or not? Well, the easiest way to tell is just to look back at a previous Zoom call that you've been on and play back to see what you actually sound like. If you don't have something that you can refer back to, just start a new call and record yourself and then play back to see what the audio quality is like. If the audio quality isn't what you want it to be, I would consider investing either in a headset that has a microphone built into it or a lavalier mic, something that plugs directly into your laptop. Here's an example, the one that I'm wearing right here. One more note about sound quality. It's really helpful when you're on a conference call to keep your mic on mute whenever you're not speaking. This will prevent any sort of distracting background noise from interrupting the call. A lot of times dogs will bark or the doorbell will ring and it can interrupt the flow of the meeting. So just remembering to mute yourself when you're done speaking really helps you to present yourself in the best possible light. Those were just some quick tips on how to have a better Zoom call. Remember, the better that people can see and hear you, the more they'll be able to focus on what you're actually saying. Hope this video helped, and until next time.